Happy Maundy Thursday. It's really hard, by the way, to say Maundy Thursday and not Maunday Thursday, because you really want to say Maunday Thursday because it rhymes, but it's not Maunday, it's Maundy, Maundy. Almost spelled it the wrong way there. But this is Maundy Thursday, and this is the day the church remembers, celebrates Jesus' Last Supper with his disciples before he headed into the Passion, before he was arrested and then was taken to the cross. And there's a couple of different texts that are really important this day. One is of course, the Last Supper, where Jesus shares the bread and the cup with his disciples. But the other part of that story is the story of Jesus washing the disciples' feet. And so that makes me think about, every time I read this, it makes me think about, well, it's going to sound weird, Chaco feet. Chaco, Chaco, Chaco feet. For those of, the people I work with, I don't have to explain what Chaco feet are, because in working in campus ministry, y'all wear Chacos all the time. Maybe some of you are Teva people or Teva people, however you want to pronounce that. I don't know, some people are really into Keens, but you know what I mean generally when I say Chaco feet. And man, well, let's put it this way. The weather's getting nice, and so it's now officially Chaco season. For some of y'all, it's always Chaco season. But yeah, it's officially Chaco season, which means people who are really into that, they're going to be wearing their Chacos all the time. And along with that, comes what I said, Chaco feet. If you don't understand what Chaco feet are, if you're not a Chaco person, or you're not around people who wear them, I don't know how you can avoid that. Or you've never been in a large group of youth people who in the middle of summer at some week-long summer youth event, and everybody's been running around in their Chacos all day, every day, and you're locked up in a room with them, and it's really hot, and everybody's sitting there, and all you can smell are Chaco feet. You might not understand what this is, but so let's put it this way. When you wear your Chacos all the time, and you go out in the world and you experience the world, unlike when you're wearing sneakers or shoes or boots or something, your feet and your Chacos pick up everything from everywhere you've been. They pick up all the dirt and all the filth and everything. And then on top of that, you already got your sweaty feet. So you get this really beautiful perfume that begins coming off of them. Because, the world that you move around in isn't that clean. You pick things up. So at the end of the day, your feet are filthy. Your Chacos are filthy. So, long story short, if you're a Chaco person, wash your feet. Wash your Chacos too. Don't have to do it every day, but periodically, I don't know, wear them in the shower or something. Don't put them in the dishwasher. I used to do that, and that is the best way to destroy a pair of Chacos, I found out. Works really well, but just wear them in the shower. Anyway, but the thing is, nobody really wants Chaco feet. But it tends to be a lot worse for the people around the person wearing Chacos than the person wearing the Chacos. You don't tend to notice it because, you're your nose is distant from your feet. But for the people sitting next to you, maybe not so much. So nobody wants Chaco feet, and nobody wants Chaco feet near them. And nobody wants to wash them, right? When I used to wear Chacos all the time, I wasn't even sure I wanted to wash my own feet. But, I had to for the health of the family. Anyway, but nobody wants to wash their Chaco feet, and nobody seems to want to do anything about it. And this is the place we find Jesus and his disciples here in our text for Maundy Thursday, which is John 13, 1 through 17, and 31 through 35. So you've got Jesus in this room celebrating this supper with his disciples, and they all have first century Chaco feet. No, they did not have Chacos in the first century, but they did all, they were pretty much wearing sandals. They were out walking around all day, every day on, it's not like they had paved roads or anything. So they're picking up everything on their feet, and they're all sitting around here. And if you don't understand this, it's not like they're sitting at a table like this, like a nice table with upright chairs and everything. They're reclining at table, right? So if you look this up, how people used to have dinner parties and how they would sit at table, they would actually recline at table. So you'd be kind of like, you'd be near people's feet, they'd be up at, closer level than you really appreciate. So they're all in there, and nobody wanted to do anything about it. They all had Chaco feet, or first century Chaco feet. None of them would address it, but here, this is where the story takes off. Jesus takes it upon himself to do something about it. Jesus stoops, right? And this has become for good reasons, a very important part of the church. Some church traditions, actually, this is a part of the litany and their liturgy at this time of year. This is a part of the way they celebrate Holy Week. Go and look it up on, especially the Eastern Orthodox Church and those Eastern traditions. Look up and see what they do regarding this. But Jesus stoops. Now, I'm kind of, sounds like I'm making light of this, like he just couldn't stand the odor. That may have been part of it, but he had something in mind when he did it. So, all the disciples, they've all got this, these Chaco feet. They're all filthy. None of them would address it. So Jesus himself stoops and washes everyone's feet. Now, I'm not going to go into the conversation that he has with Simon Peter. I suggest you look at that because it's actually very important as well. But what I want to point out is this interesting thing, that he washes everyone's feet. Not just a few people, or not just like one person to make a token gesture and then like gets over it. And no, he says he washes everyone's feet, including Judas. And we're told that he knew at the time that he washed Judas's feet, that Judas would betray him. So he washes everyone's feet, even Judas, even though he knew and that Judas was going to betray him, and even though he knew that they would all by the time this evening was over, would all pretty much leave him. They would all run away. So it's this interesting thing where the goodness of this act that he does isn't just meant for the people he likes, or people he knows likes him, the easy choices, the easy people. It wasn't just for the people who had already washed their feet. It was for everyone, because their feet all needed washing, and Jesus took it upon himself to do that. Now, what's the big deal about that? Well, remember I said he had a point in doing this. It says that after he had washed their feet, he got back up, he put his robe back on, because, to do this, he didn't keep his robe on. It says he took his robe off, girded himself with a towel, and proceeded to wash their feet, even using the towel that he was clothed in to dry their feet off. It says after he had washed their feet, he put on his robe and had returned to the table. And then he says to them, "Do you know what I've done to you?" Well, yeah, sure, you washed our feet. But that's not what he's talking about. And they must have all not really had an answer, because there's no response recorded. I just picture them kind of looking at him like, were you not here for it? So he says, "Do you know what I've done to you?" And he says, "You call me teacher and Lord, and you're right, for that's what I am." Now this is the way that they were giving him honor and respect. But maybe perhaps they didn't really understand what that meant, or maybe the idea of that kind of had led them to a place where they weren't, I don't know, they thought they were all too good to wash each other's feet. So it says, "You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, for that is what I am. So if I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have set you an example, that you also should do as I have done to you." I think sometimes we get into the church and we have this idea that we're all, I don't know, being in the church makes us better, than everyone else. I think sometimes people get called into the church and think that it's going to be a way to make a name for themselves. We see this among the disciples. We have throughout the Gospels times where the disciples come to Jesus begging for him to tell them who's going to have the most power and the most authority when he comes into his kingdom. And lest they persist under that kind of delusion that being one of his followers is going to make them high and mighty and really important, that somehow serving him and answering the call to serve him is going to be a way for them to make a name for themselves, he takes it upon himself to do the lowliest thing possible, the thing that he knows none of them want to do. He takes up this basin and pitcher and girds himself in a towel and cleans their nasty Chaco feet. Part of the message of Holy Week is that you're not too good to do the Lord's work. You're not too bad so that the Lord can't wash your feet, and you're also not too good to then go out and do as he's done and wash everyone else's feet. So, take care of your nasty Chaco feet. Take care of everyone else's. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Boop.